Welcome to Days of Painting Victory. I'm Josh, and today we're putting a new master cylinder in my tow rig. We're working on my 1998 GMC K3500 and lost my brakes. I don't see anything leaking along any of the four corners, but it is weeping a bunch right between the master cylinder and the booster. This has the Hydro Boost brakes. Should be a pretty simple job as long as nothing breaks. Just got to break these two lines off here, and then there's two bolts there. Just pull it off the rod, hopefully, and then we'll bench bleed the master cylinder in the shop. Come back out here and install it, and hopefully get one of my kids to help me bleed the brakes. So pretty simple. These you do want to be really careful. I'm hoping that this thing doesn't look too rusted, so they should break loose all right. But you always want to use flare wrench when you're doing these lines here. So just gotta find the right size. I'm gonna give it a little shot of juice here. And I did not aim very well. Oh yeah, easy peasy. Yep, I like it. I'm gonna snap that back on. Nice. That was easy. Figure out what that size is. It's bigger than that. Try 5/8. Stuck a bread pan under there. Hopefully catch some of the drips. You know, when you use these for automotive purposes, it sure makes baking a lot easier. You know, your bread and stuff comes out much easier after it's been greased up. Just don't tell your friends. Come on, you. Dang, dude. Now that one's tight. Might need some leverage. Should bust those off the rest of the way. Yeah. I love going an eighth of a turn at a time. Just like that. All right, here's the new master cylinder. Got it at O'Reilly's. We're gonna take it in there and bench bleed it in the shop, and then just reverse the process. It's pretty simple job. All right, got my dot 3 here. Better make sure these are open before I get too carried away. There it is. Yeah, that one This one is just shooting fluid now. This one's got air bubbles. You gotta go till those air bubbles are gone. It's getting a lot harder to push. It's getting there. It's supposed to go till you can only push it like 1/8 of an inch in. I'm at 1/4 right now. Alright, I can only push it about 1/8 of an inch now. So, cap this off. Alrighty. Slip this guy in there. Ratchet wrenches are the best. Just so handy. Sweetness. Okay, now you get this lower bracket bolt on. Sweetness. Now you want to do this kind of quickly so you don't introduce too much air in the system, but you're going to pull out your plug and hook up a line. So, here. Okay. Now, if you don't have a bench vise, you can bleed these master cylinders in the truck just using the pedal, but know that you can put a lot more force on it with your foot than you can by hand with a screwdriver or whatever, so just gotta be careful. Sweet deal. I'm gonna top this guy off with fluid. Dang, dude. About more than that. Okay. All right, unfortunately, there's no way around this, but there's gonna be a little bit of air right here where you broke this line out. So we gotta bleed the brakes on all 4 corners. So I gotta wait till my wife gets home and she's gonna help me out with that. And it's quite the process, even though it's just a little bit of air here. It's gotta make it all the way to all 4 corners. So it's gonna be a lot of pumping the brakes. Hopefully this fixes it. I had like no pedal at all. It just went to the floor. And so I'm pretty sure that other master cylinder was bad and it was leaking right around here. Hopefully this fixes it. Otherwise, back to the drawing board. Well, it's a couple days later and this job has turned into a much bigger job than just the master cylinder, and it's my fault. Even if you're new to cars, you know right away that's not what your rotor's supposed to look like. Somewhere along the line, my inside pad like disintegrated, and I ignored a sound way too long. You might be thinking, man, did you at least look at it? And I did, but I think I used my refrigerator eyes, you know, when you're looking for something in the refrigerator and don't move anything. So anyway, let me get this side buttoned up. I got new parts, and then I'll show you how to change rotor and pads on K3500 on the other side. All right, driver side's all buttoned up. This caliper is gonna be a little questionable whether it's still good or not, but I should know right away when I start bleeding the brakes. It's not always a great thing when that thing gets, you know, pushed beyond its limits. So hopefully that'll be all right. If not, I'll just buy a new caliper. But anyway, it's quite a bit of work to get back to the rotor, but I'll show you on the driver's side there how it all comes apart. Step one, pull the tire off. Oh man, I'm gonna use my little hubcap there to hold on to my nuts. We're gonna safety it up a little bit with the jack stand. All right, and then we got a couple of things we got to do. We got to get this dually adapter off, because basically the hub is sandwiched between the rotor and this dually adapter, and it'll make it easier to get that spindle nut off. So I'm going to soak all these down, then pull the caliper, and then come back to this and break these loose. I've had this apart a couple years ago, so it mostly comes apart easy. First time I took this apart, it was a bear, so be prepared for that. I like to also get it soaking all along that surface there too, just to try to break those suckers loose. Bust that caliper off. There's two Allen head bolts on the back side there. They're pretty easy. Just bust those loose, and then I just flop that guy right up here. Oh, come on. Take a fat screwdriver and a pry bar, try to work that guy out. Sweet. Alright, let's see if we can bust those guys loose. What I do is I just jam my pry bar. Let me turn you down here. Just put my pry bar in so it kind of locks that in. I need a longer one. There we go. 21 millimeter. Yeah, these are pretty easy because I've had this apart before. Grunting is necessary. Alright, after that, take some sort of hammer and try to get that thing off there. Sweet. Alright, that'll expose your spindle nut, and that's a 36 millimeter. Kind of same deal. Gonna block the studs here, locker it in, and grab that slide. Come on, baby. Alright, so after you got that off, there are four, I can show you here, right there, 4 bolts that hold the hub assembly on. And they're 15 millimeter head. They are tight and hard to get out, but just work at it. Go slow, move around, because you don't want to build too much heat in those bolts and break them off. That's not fun. All right, after you get those 4 bolts off the back that hold the hub on, before you go yanking this hub off, there's a wheel speed sensor attached to the hub, and I know on my other side it was rusted where I couldn't unplug it. There's a little Allen head screw and it's really hard to get to. The easiest way to take care of this is just disconnect it at the frame. You'll want to get a screwdriver, spread these clips out if you have to. Some of them, yep, we're gonna have to do that. And then it unplugs right there. So front of the control arm, just unplug it and take this whole wire out, and you'll be able to get that through the back side of the rotor, no problem. Sweet. All right, we're gonna take this into the shop and get it blown apart. All right, first thing we gotta do is get these wheel studs out, because we gotta reuse them. The rotors do not come with new wheel studs. Plus it's kind of holding this rotor to the hub. So I'm just gonna take a punch and a hammer, tap these guys out. Then I just flip this guy over and kind of block it up with some metal there. You could probably get away with using some like 2x4s or something, but you want something solid so all your force of hammering goes into the hub here. And there's a little space, maybe I'll just get you in here. There's a little space between, you can't really see it. You can hit the back side of the hub in a few spots around the inside of the rotor. And this comes out pretty easy. And should be able to rotate that guy so the notches go around these little ears here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit and then we'll put the new rotor on. Thing of beauty. Basically all you got to do is line up the holes for the wheel studs. Those lined up, and then I'm going to block this guy back up and tap those wheel studs through. All right, we've got our hub assembly with the rotor. Don't forget your backing plate because that's no fun to do that twice. There we go. Okay. I like to put a little lube on these bolts going back in. those 4 bolts, I think they're supposed to be torqued to like 133 pounds. I can't get a torque wrench back there with tools I have, so basically it's just really freaking tight. Now these bolts here, when we start putting on the dually adapter, definitely want to torque those down and do the crisscross pattern, because this rotor might not be completely square to the hub, so you want to make sure that that gets sucked down, otherwise it's going to wobble. Like right now I think it's actually rubbing a little bit because it's not fully seated on here, so you can use that torque sequence to suck that rotor tight up against the back of the hub. Next step we're going to do is get this hub nut on, the spindle nut, and it torques to 177 foot-pounds, which is also really freaking tight. Sweet. All right, next we're gonna get that dually adapter on there. Because like I said, you don't want this rotor all cattywampus when you're hooking up your caliper here. Cattywampus. Owie, sharp rock. All right, I used a paint pen to kind of keep track of where I was at. Got all those torqued down. Got my wire hooked up for the wheel sensor. Now we're going to work on the caliper, getting the new pads in. So what I like to do is just put a C-clamp on there, compress that cylinder. You don't want to do it too quickly because you can mess up the seals in there, but I've never had an issue just taking it nice and slow. Jeez, eh? I'm not sure why, but this thing is too wide right here by just a little bit. It might be just the coating, it might be just like a bad template that they use, but on the other side I had to grind them, so I'm going to go to the shop, grind this down a little bit so it fits in the caliper. Alright, got a little anti-squeak goop to it. Wee. Lube it or lose it. Okay, that was way harder than it should have been. Alright, all that's left now is to bleed the brakes. So when Allison gets home, hopefully we'll have time for that. Get it in the next couple days anyway. But yeah, those rotors look a lot better than the crap I pull off. Do your maintenance. I hate maintenance, but man, that would have prevented a lot of this. Look at that sunset. Alright, finally found time in our schedule to bleed the brakes. Normally you want to start from the furthest away from the master cylinder, but we're going to actually start the closest to the master cylinder because we're running out of daylight and I want to show you how this works. So I got my lovely assistant, he's working hard there.
Multitasking.
Yeah,
Is what I'm doing.
so she's basically going to pump the pedal 3 times, and on the 3rd time hold it down at the floor. And while she holds it down on the floor, I'm going to break this bleeder loose and let any air out, and then close it before she lifts the pedal back up. All right, so go ahead and pump it 3 times on the 3rd time hold. Holding?
Oh, I thought 3 and then hold.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought I counted it.
Wait, is the 4th one I hold?
The 3rd one.
Oh, I'm wrong.
Okay. Are you holding now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was 3 and then...
Okay, do it again. Holding? Okay. All right, again.
It wasn't like...
Okay, again. All right, my brake bleeder was plugged up. I don't know if you can see that. There we go. That hole there was all plugged up, and so I had to clean that out. Now it should work. All right, 3 pumps and then hold. There we go, now it's... Okay, do it again, please. All right, again. All right, one more time. All right, I think we're good there. So that's basically the process. You just want to keep doing that till you don't see any air bubbles come out, and that all looks good. We get the other 4 corners done, and maybe we'll test drive it tomorrow. All right, taking a load to the recycle. This is a good opportunity to test the brakes. Actually, the night that we got this done, drove and tested them, and it feels like a totally different truck. But look at that. Stop, brake lights off. I've got a really good pedal now. It's great. The pedal went like straight to the floor when it happened. And I was hauling a load of compost for the garden. So the truck was not light. I mean, it's already like an 8,000 pound truck. You throw a yard of compost in the back. That's a lot to stop with no brakes. So, very happy to have my truck back. Watch. Yep. Oh man. Brakes are so much better. So, anyway, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer them. But that's how you do a master cylinder, rotors, pads on a K3500 with the dual wheels. So, yeah. Wheel it, wreck it, wrench it, repeat. See you next time.